Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inspected on Thursday the Nasr Company for Intermediate Chemicals in Abu Rawash area in Giza Governorate. Speaking during the visit, the President called on the private sector to take part in such important industries. He noted that thousands of youth work in these factories.
President Fattah al-Sisi inspected on Thursday Al Nasr Company for Intermediate Chemicals in Abu Rawash area in Giza Governorate. The company was established on 250 fadans and includes 17 factories. 2 new factories were added for the production of medical and industrial gases. Speaking during the visit, President al-Sisi called on the private sector to take part in such important industries. He noted that thousands of youths work in these factories. The President said that the armed forces cooperate with the private sector in implementing projects. He also praised the establishment of the new factories in such a record time. The President said that it was important the Egyptian people understand that the armed forces are not participating in these projects to exclude the private sector. He noted that the armed forces are involved in a number of strategic projects in which the production should not be affected at any time under any circumstances, as drinking water and medical gases, in addition to a number of other products. The President also addressed a wide range of current issues. He said that the Egyptian people are aware of the plots being prepared for Egypt, calling on them not to be dragged to believing rumors. The President said that media plays a key role in confronting rumors. He also said that all state institutions should cooperate to confront those rumors. In his speech, General Mustafa Amin, Director General of the National Service Projects in the Armed Forces, said the department is carrying out a number of mega projects in line with Egypt's comprehensive development plan. He said that these projects created 16,000 job opportunities for youths. The President was accompanied by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Defense General Mohammed Zaki, in addition to a number of ministers and high-ranking officials.
During the visit to the Nasr Company for Intermediate Chemicals, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi addressed a number of current issues. Here are the President's full statements.
Thank you very much. I really feel grateful to you all for opening these 2 factories. All gratitude, all heartfelt thanks are due to everyone who has contributed to the creation of these 2 factories. The armed forces has been undertaking this mission of adding new factories to the industrial capacity of the country, and when the armed forces is doing so, we must appreciate this effort. Should be well received by the public. It should be well appreciated. Well, actually, we have seen that civil works, civil factories have been capitalizing on the products made by armed forces factories. The armed forces factories, including these 2 and the other one produced before, have been producing substances and chemicals which are indispensable for the local market. The local market cannot be allowed to be badly impacted by any loss or any shortage of any of these chemicals. I've said this before. Farming greenhouses. Imagine that when we have 10,000 fadans covered with greenhouses, a lot of young people would be employed by these greenhouse farms. By doing so, we are giving hope to young people, because we are creating them jobs rather than staying idle, staying unemployed. And also, by doing so, we've been enhancing the concept of partnership. You remember that when I was declaring open the greenhouse project at Mohammed Naguib military base on the northern coast on the Mediterranean. I have said before, when opening this greenhouse area, that we have declared open. Ever since then, I've declared open any partnership attempt by any other civil works or any civil company to come into partnership. These companies contributing to these greenhouses and all other areas of industry should be listed on the stock exchange, so that every Egyptian citizen may have the right to buy shares, to buy stocks, to buy shares of the stocks of these companies on the stock exchange. I'm inviting everyone to buy, not to hesitate to buy stocks of these companies, to buy shares of these companies on the stock exchange. I'm inviting everyone in order to avert any troublesome procedures. So I'm welcoming everyone to buy shares of these companies. We've been working on this business for 3 years on partnership, but listing companies on the stock exchanges involves a great deal of procedures. Of course, I can't talk about them now, but we are going to list some of these companies on the stock exchange to declare the way open for everyone to buy shares. I've been talking about Egypt's sovereign fund. Egypt's sovereign fund will be having a lot of funds coming right into it, because the proceeds of these will be channeled into Egypt's sovereign fund. It will have trillions. I've already approached the Prime Minister on this, didn't I? Yes, the Prime Minister is answering yes. All these companies involve Egyptian-owned assets, which will be listed on the stock exchange and would be allowed to grow further and further. I'm talking this to the media representatives and to all Egyptians. Don't ever influence it. Uncertainty has been prevailing for 80 years, and attempts at dividing and splitting people from each other. This is a status which we have to continue to persistently resist. What we have been achieving, it's God, it's Allah who is credited with what we have been doing, with what we have been manufacturing. They are in continued hostility with any achievement. You may describe them as evil people or lying people or evil people. You may describe them as either evil or whatever. You may give them any characteristic you may give them too. Don't be hesitated by anything said about you. I'm telling you that the Egyptian people fully realizes what's going on around it. But we have to assert on every occasion that the media has an important role an important act to do. It's a war of social media sites and a warfare of social media warfare and rumor warfare against the Egyptian people. I'm telling the media and officials to talk realistically by citing, by quoting figures, quoting statistics to the people, so that they may realize themselves what the government has been undertaking to do. We have been suffering from this, not now, but for quite some time. Uncertainty and skepticism and throwing into everything into a state of skepticism or skeptically regarding everything has been a characteristics of them. And so it remains that all institutions of the state should be present, should be there in order to face up to any rumor or any move. I'm telling representatives of the people at the House of the Representatives in Parliament have an important role to play. Go as representatives of the people, go do your inspection tours and report what you see and what you discover to the people, what you uncover to the people. And actually this is not an instruction. The public prosecutor, the general public prosecutor is the guardian of society, the guardian of the Egyptian people. All channels, all past channels of action, channels of action did go in line with our requirements at the time. But now a new situation has been unfolding. A new situation has been unfolding in front of the state, in front of the government. You have been working and should be working all the time to serve the country, to serve the nation, rather than not to serve the regime, the ruling regime. You are here doing business in the factory, doing whatever you do at all production sites in order to serve the country, to serve the nation. If someone comes up and levels certain charges and certain accusations at any public figure, well, the public prosecutor and all relevant bodies have to stop, have to dwell upon it, have to investigate into it. The accusations made are either correct or not correct. Who is to decide on the correctness of these charges or these accusations? It's Parliament. Your Excellency, Dr. Abdallah. Yes, Dr. Abdallah says yes. It's Parliament. It's the House of Representatives who is in charge of deciding on the correctness or the validity of this charge or this accusation or not. When a query is being lodged by an MP, well, an MP may file or lodge a query against any public figure. Inquisition is being made by MPs to Parliament. All government institutions should be made in charge of defending the entire Egyptian state. Otherwise, we'll be vulnerable. We'll all be vulnerable to risks. Well, we should be prepared. We should be more geared up to face more challenges than the ones we have been facing, because we have been adding accomplishments and in view of this, all institutions interpellations should be lodged by MPs. in order to validate or invalidate, to substantiate or unsubstantiate such accusations. My heartfelt thanks and gratitude to everyone who has contributed. So, well, from now on, we are going to go on opening new projects, even if this is much to the detriment of evil people who will not be satisfied or be sad or be grieved if we see us opening or adding new achievements to what we have been doing over the past years.
عشان بس ايه لا ما هو احنا مش هنسيبهم ان هم يعني يأذوا بعض.
We will not let them let them badly or adversely impact our morale. Our morale should not be adversely impacted by them. We are doing this not for everyone, but for God's sake first of all, for Allah's sake, for God's sake first of all, and then for the sake of our forthcoming generations, for our children. I do hope that we will all be vigilant. Thank you very much.
And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli handed over government distinguishment awards on Thursday in an event organized by the Ministry of Planning under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The Ministry of Planning has earlier launched a contest for governmental eminence in the framework of the Administrative Reform Plan. The award is divided into 5 main awards, namely Distinguished Governmental Institutional Award, Distinguished Unit Offering Governmental Service Award, Distinguished Institution Offering Governmental Services Award, Distinguished Leaders Award, and finally Innovation and Creativeness Award.
The first general session of the Arab Parliament convened at the Arab League headquarters in Cairo. The session is headed by Dr. Mash'al Al-Salmi, head of the Arab Parliament, and is attended by the Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri. Al-Salmi called on Ethiopia to reach a just and comprehensive agreement regarding the Renaissance Dam issue. He added that a resolution will be issued on Thursday that shows the Arab Parliament's solidarity with Egypt in the efforts to protect the water security. In his speech to the inaugural session, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri said that Egypt is willing to sign a trilateral agreement with Ethiopia and Sudan through negotiations brokered by the United States and the World Bank to guarantee Egypt's rights to the Nile water. He added that Egypt has real political will to achieve this.
Lebanese protesters insisted on a complete overhaul of the country's sectarian-based governance and celebrated the emergence of a national civic identity. Demonstrators kept up their